After first meeting Don Simpson and sitting down over several cups of coffee and many more hours of stories, we asked the question, how do we inspire Generation X, Y, and Z to rise to the challenges that prevail today? Don, at an early age, developed a life course that involved choices at strategic crossroads that are, for the most part, the same crossroads we all stand and decide at. Don's decisions have affected continents, and the people who have been influenced by this man are in turn influencing others. Renaissance leaders, pathfinders, explorers. Let the journey continue.
Yeah, I think I do. It was in Guelph, Ontario, and we were at a workshop with a small company. And so we dropped by, and within probably about 20 minutes, he was, I don't know if he was testing me or just getting to know me, but he had assigned me to a task to help out with the workshop. And so I jumped up and got involved on a flip chart and contributed a little bit, but it was wonderful to get to see him and watch him and his daughter work together on working through a challenge with this private firm.
I do, actually. It was actually in Toronto, and it was probably, I bet it was close to 50, no, my daughter wasn't born then, probably close to 20 years ago. And he was making a presentation in our office. I was in a small consulting firm at the time, and he was talking about innovation and some of the great work that he was doing in Banff. So I was quite intrigued by this, and there was a meeting that was going to be coming up, I guess another month or so, and there was an opportunity to go out and participate in that. So I thought, sounds pretty cool. And so I did, and that was back when Don was the head of the Center for Management at the Banff Center, which is an absolutely fabulous place. So it was great to go out there and be part of sort of the coming up with some ideas around this notion of the International Institute for Innovation.
I do. Don has done a lot of work with a man named Dr. Vic Neufeld, and they have for many years been working with Africans and with Africa on cultural exchange programs and medical work in Africa. And Vic Neufeld's son happens to be my best chum from childhood. Many years ago, as an actor, I was challenged by a mentor of mine named Douglas Campbell to restart a company called the Canadian Players. It was an important part of the history of Canadian theatre. Douglas tasked me with resurrecting that company. I didn't know where to go, where to start. I told the Neufelds about this, and they said, you have to meet a man named Don Simpson, who understands the history of this country.
How would I define Don? He is a true explorer. There's nothing that Don isn't curious about, if not fascinated with, and seems to have an amazing capacity to absorb vast amounts of information in various forms and bring meaning to it, and but not only just interpret it, but also turn it into a story. And so the story, of course, is very compelling to many people when they hear that. So they immediately become attracted to the message that he's conveying, this synoptic view of things that he's seen or heard and so on. And because he travels in so many places, you just hear so many stories. So he has this amazing ability to absorb this vast amount of information, consume it, and then in addition to that, connect it.
Don was an uncommon listener. There was a capacity in his listening that I hadn't come across before. There was a kind of selfless ability to absorb everything that you were saying, to take you in, to encourage you in a kind of loving, supported way, to say things that you might not normally say, and hear them, and at the same time, his brain is like this octopus of tentacles going off, and you can watch it firing off in all directions, making contacts and connections with other places. And he's like this living hub, so that at each time that I presented some sort of idea, there'd be 3 or 4 suggestions of where to go with that idea. This is an extraordinary gift. And it's not a computer program, this is a living being doing this. Wonderful.
He's a man of action. So he's highly strategic in what he does, but he is a man of action. So he likes things to happen, and he creates conditions under which things will happen. Well, part of me would say just keep on going. I mean, he's, in my mind, the kind of work he does and the kind of way in which he pursues things is what gives him energy. And so, yes, he's at this point now in his life where he can even more bring all kinds of things together, and has been doing a huge amount of reflection on the things he's learned and brought those things together. I think he's at a great point now where he can just kind of escalate that whole connectedness opportunity even more.
I'm Don Simpson. Today I turn 80, and I think maybe I'm now ready to take on my real life's work.